Clement of Rome was a bishop in Rome about AD 95 to 100. He wrote two works, First Clement and Second Clement. The pre-nicene writers wrote that Clement was an associate of Paul. In fact, Paul mentions Clement by name in Philippians 4:3. Paul wrote, I urge Euodia and I urge Syntyche to agree in the Lord. Help these women who have contended for the gospel at my side, along with Clement and the rest of my co-workers whose names are in the book of life. How likely is it that this Clement is the same Clement of Rome? It is extremely likely. Origen wrote, Paul bears witness when he says, with Clement also, and the others, my fellow laborers, whose names are in the book of life. Tertullian wrote that Peter helped ordain Clement as a presbyter in Rome. For this is the manner in which the apostolic churches transmit their registers of apostolic succession, as the church in Smyrna, which records that Polycarp was placed therein by John, as also the church of Rome, which makes Clement to have been ordained in like manner by Peter. Clement died about AD 101, about the same time as the Apostle John, while Clement was in Greece. He may have been visiting the Corinthians at that time. About Clement of Rome, pre-nicene Christians said, And what are the deacons but imitators of the angelic powers, fulfilling a pure and blameless ministry unto them, as the holy Stephen did to the blessed James, Timothy and Linus to Paul, and Cletus and Clement to Peter. This man, Clement, as he had seen the blessed apostles and had been conversant with them, might be said to have the preaching of the apostles still echoing in his ears, and their traditions before his eyes. Nor was he alone, for there were many still remaining who had received instructions from the apostles. In the time of this Clement, no small dissension having occurred among the brethren at Corinth, the church in Rome dispatched a most powerful letter to the Corinthians, exhorting them to peace, renewing their faith, and declaring the tradition which it had lately received from the apostles. The greater he seems to be, the more humble he should be, says Clement in the epistle to the Corinthians. After the times of the apostles, the church in Corinth had a problem. Various Christians had removed the overseers whom the apostles had appointed and appointed their own. The ousted overseers and loyal Christians wrote a letter to the church in Rome asking for advice. The church leaders at Rome, who included Clement, wrote their letter to Corinth, which is called First Clement. Clement of Alexandria and Irenaeus both believed First Clement to be inspired. No pre-nicene writer opposed its inspiration. First and Second Clement were two of four works that were considered by many in the pre-nicene church to be inspired. But later, after lengthy discussions, the majority of the church throughout the world viewed these works as honorable documents. They encouraged that these works be read beside the Scriptures. The other two were the letter of Barnabas and the shepherd of Hermas. In the introduction of First Clement, the letter says it is from the Church of God which sojourns at Rome. Clement never identifies himself in the letter. If Clement had papal authority or any other kind of elevated authority over the churches outside of Rome, as the Roman Catholic Church believes, Clement never claimed it. The absence of his name and his papacy from the letter suggests that his role as a bishop in Rome was equal with his fellow presbyters. First Clement was occasionally read in Corinth until the 4th century and was considered by the Corinthians to be inspired during that time. Clement's second work, called Second Clement, is written in the form of a sermon. If it was delivered like a sermon, which is easily inferred by reading it, it is the oldest Christian sermon that has survived. Most scholars today do not believe Second Clement was written by Clement of Rome. However, their evidence to support this belief is extremely lacking. After reading both First and Second Clement, the reader will recognize that their styles and word choices are strikingly similar. Besides, the pre-nicene Christians said that Clement of Rome is the author.